Hey, it's Endymion, and today I want to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is quickly approaching us with every passing day, as well as Ubisoft, as more information has come out regarding them and an internal email that I was sent that broke some information and some really bad abuse allegations too. Firstly, Kingdom Come 2 is coming out in February, but it's already making waves. The game looks to be a mega hit in the making. I am confident that when this game arrives, it's going to cause a massive wave of discussion, and we could be seeing yet another Baldur's Gate 3-esque event on our hands. I don't say that in a hyperbole sense either. I think players have been yearning for an honest-to-God, good-action RPG open-world game that keeps historical accuracy at the foundation of its experience, and we simply haven't had a game like Kingdom Come since, well, probably the first one actually, for being real. Kingdom Come and its studio Warhorse are both spearheaded by Daniel Vavra, a Czech Republic dude that is incredibly based, and finds the entire game industry to be full of woke morons. He's a guy who understands what players really want. And I'm sure his game will get ire from games journalists when it arrives cause it lacks diversity. Because the game takes place in medieval times, so sorry journalists, but you're likely not going to be seeing any trans septum-pierced blue-haired weirdos in this one. I will be interested to see if the reviews are affected by Warhorse's absolute obsession with real-world historical accuracy, even when it comes to the skin color of their cast, but time will tell. However, Daniel Vavra has come out and explained that he believes what the industry fears now more than ever are actually YouTubers, and this is from Fandom Pulse. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 developer Daniel Vavra claims big studios are terrified of YouTubers like Critical Drinker and Asmongold. Recently, Vavra, alongside other Warhorse devs, were on the Najlepši podcast, which, in case you don't know what that word means, it means best. It's a word us Serbians share with Czech people, clearly. Fun fact, did you know that the word vampire comes from the Serbian word vampir? Well, the more you know. Anyway, Daniel Vavra was on this podcast over at Vox News where he spoke about this very thing. You're likely looking at the subtitles on screen here where YouTube is trying to translate what they're saying into really bad broken English. But here's what Daniel actually said, and I quote, "Listen, I've even heard that their big developers and companies are really scared of hate-tubers, let's say. The kind of guys who started criticizing Critical Drinker, Asmongold, and others who started criticizing big companies. And I thought it was so niche. Okay, he's, Asmongold, got like a few million followers. His videos have some impact. But it's definitely not what everybody is watching, and now I found out from some people that companies are really terrified of them and it's really having an impact. That when somebody starts to critique the game and the corporate world, that it does have an impact. And it's unsustainable how these corporations do it, considering that they're now making games that nobody wanted. And they even said it when those gamers started complaining that they didn't like it and they didn't want that kind of game. And the developers started telling them that they were stupid and that it wasn't a game for them, which is completely bizarre that you're insulting your own customers." End quote. As you can see, Daniel Vavra's comments are pretty interesting here as he confirms that industry people fear what people like Asmongold Drinker and others, I assume like me, Smash, Yellow Flash, and so on when it comes to these sorts of things. Because it's more evident than ever that the words of YouTubers are having more power than ever before when it comes to how the culture and, more importantly, how entertainment is created. We have made it abundantly clear many times that we do not want a lot of what these people are selling. We're sick of pandering, gender race swaps, we hate historical revisionism, and we are tired of forced diversity, just to name some of it. And whenever things get put into games that people don't want, we speak out against it, clearly. And I want to make it clear that I and others are not against, say, black people being in a game. But for example, in the newest Sniper Elite game, which is called Sniper Elite Resistance, it apparently has black female snipers and French female snipers in it, which weren't exactly present during World War II. This sort of thing takes people out of the experience when it comes to playing games like this set in these historical settings. Do I think it's enough to ruin this latest Sniper Elite game? I don't know, since it's not exactly out yet as of the making of this video. But if you want to make a game about sniping Yahtzees in World War II, historical accuracy is definitely something I think that we can all agree that really matters. But things like this can quickly turn sour and shift the conversation of whatever game is hot at the time into a negative light. If Warhorse was stupid, they would have made a black woman a playable character in Kingdom Come 2, and if that were to happen, people wouldn't be happy. On one hand, you could say, is it because people are racist, or is it because the likelihood that a black female woman was operating and somehow knew medieval sword fighting techniques within the time period and world in which Kingdom Come takes place in would feel out of place? It would be like watching an old Chinese movie about their wars within their country and then a pink-haired brown woman with the word vegan tattooed on her neck suddenly became the main character. You would have questions, not to mention it would take you out of the movie and ruin the immersion. If Kingdom Come was made by a true Western dev studio, and I make the distinction here because Kingdom Come is made in the Czech Republic, which, let's be real, isn't exactly a one-to-one fair comparison to, say, San Francisco-based devs or Seattle, then Kingdom Come would be twisting its historical accuracy to make way for all manners of things. The fact the game is advertised with a white straight male hero and has not one but two white male actors being used in promotional videos to sell the game, as you're seeing on screen here, is honestly not very common in the year that we're living in. The game will, mark my words, get criticized by some journalists during its lifespan for its lack of diversity. I can almost guarantee it happening. Because DEI is their new god, and it's not a god worth dying for if you ask me. I mean, the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3, both those movies, they were not eligible for awards at, say, the Oscars, not because of their quality per se, but because they lacked diversity and didn't meet the quotas for DEI. I wish I was kidding, but that's a real thing. So when I tell you guys that the quality of the product is not as important as the message, I mean it. Look at Hogwarts Legacy. It had trans people in it, but the fact that the game was made in the universe owned by J.K. Rowling, who infamously believes that trans people are mentally ill, meant that the game could not be recognized for awards. So even when you do pander somewhat in some way and have diversity or some other agenda pushing, unless you push it in a very specific way, you're still not eligible for awards even then. This makes me worried about Kingdom Come 2 because the game will likely be very white and very based. Two things the gaming media landscape really doesn't like these days, but this will mean the game will still sell like hotcakes. Just wait till it comes out, guys. This game is going to sell 1 million copies in 24 hours easy. I bet money on it. Kingdom Come 2 will be a commercial success out of the gate, but will it be a critical darling? I don't know yet. But I have a creeping suspicion it will get docked points or outright ignored because something it's not diverse enough. But what Daniel Vavra has said makes sense. These people in the industry should be rightfully afraid of YouTubers. Because finally, the paying customer has unified itself in such a way that we become able to speak for ourselves and voice our opinions in such a way that it can now be heard. If journalists don't want the heat, maybe don't attack Kingdom Come 2 when it comes out, but who are we kidding? They won't be able to help themselves. Their gender studies degrees that are collecting dust on their countertops will be talking to them like the Green Goblin mask the moment they see Henry in Kingdom Come 2 being happy and talking to white people almost exclusively. I think Daniel Vavra is one of the smarter devs of today. I put him in the same camp as Thomas Mahler, who runs Moon Studios and is making no rest for the wicked. These sorts of devs are what the future of game development will thrive and look up to in the future. Not because they're both white guys, but because they're developers who aren't interested in bowing down to a collective agenda that has ruined their fellow rival studios with their nonsense. The fact of the matter is that stuff is expensive. We all know this. My god, I can't leave my house without somehow spending $50 on some crap because being an adult sucks. And when these games are costing as much as a real-life Iron Man suit would cost in real life to make, maybe start making things people actually want to buy, because DEI is where dreams go to die after all, and it doesn't have to be this way. Although there was this one statement Daniel Vavra made back in April 2024 that did raise some eyebrows from PC Gamer. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't just bigger, it's more diverse, with Warhorse adding a wide range of ethnicities and different characters. This made a lot of people go, uh-oh, is Kingdom Come cooked? Well, this article actually references another one from IGN where they interviewed one of the people working on Kingdom Come 2, whose name is Tobias Stoll-Zwilling, who is credited as the spokesperson for Warhorse Studios in the article. IGN would ask Tobias, Kingdom Come Deliverance's philosophy on historical accuracy was debated quite a bit at release, particularly in regards to its lack of people of color. Has Warhorse's approach or philosophy changed at all with Kingdom Come 2? What new historical data will Kingdom Come 2 be incorporating, if any? Here's what Tobias said, and I quote, The story and plot of Kingdom Come Deliverance has evolved. It's darker, deeper, and more cinematic, yet also crueler with pivotal decisions and plot twists that challenge the player's conscience. Nevertheless, it retains its humor and down-to-earth approach. As mentioned already, Henry is embarking on a journey from the countryside and local quarrels to a relatively cosmopolitan city that is besieged and occupied by the invading king. Naturally, in a place like this, people can expect a wide range of ethnicities and different characters that Henry will meet on his journey. Gutenberg is playing a very important role in Henry's story, so I can't really tell you too much for spoiler reasons, but as I mentioned before, in Kingdom Come 1, Henry grew from a boy to a man, and now in Kingdom Come 2, he is growing from a man to a warrior. However, he can't do this by himself, and he needs a strong cast of friends to help him on his journey. We are trying to depict a realistic, immersive, and believable medieval world that is being reconstructed to the best of our knowledge. And naturally, to achieve that, we are not only having our own in-house historian, but we are also very closely working together with universities, historians, museums, reenactors, and a group of experts from different ethnicities or religious beliefs that we are actively incorporating into development as external advisors." End quote. So here we can confirm that Kingdom Come 2 will indeed have more than just white people in it, which I think is totally fine, as long as those people are depicted properly according to their cultures. The hope, at least in my eyes, is that while people of color can and will be in the game, that Warhorse doesn't shift the focus from Henry to others and ends up sidelining him. I honestly doubt this will happen for obvious reasons. I do think Warhorse is smart enough to not do something as stupid as this for their sequel, but I do hope they don't fall into the pits of usual nonsense that ruins these sorts of stories where the hero is sidelined in his own game or movie for strong girl bosses. We've all seen it before. But I think it's likely in very good hands either way. I don't think Warhorse will ruin their game with identity politics, or I hope not. And let me be clear, just having people of color in your game or whatever is not woke. It does come down to how it is depicted though. If the white male characters are constantly shown to be inept, stupid, weak, or evil, like say in Dragon Age Veilguard, that is a good idea that the game has an agenda against white males. And if every good character is a person of color or some other identity, again, also like Veilguard, then that's also going to ring some bells that we need to keep an eye on. But I think that Daniel Vavra, based on his comments here about industry people being terrified of Asmongold or Drinker, is reason enough for me to believe that Daniel neither wants to draw the ire of these types either, because he likely knows what their influence means once they catch your scent. The question does come, where do we need to ask, where is too much influence a bad thing? But in this case, I don't think Asmongold is bad or anything when it comes to gaming criticism overall. The truth of the matter is that Gamergate 2 has completely changed the industry in less than a year. Its first birthday is in March, technically, and already the events have been earth-shattering. It would be in every studio's best interest to not piss off people when it comes to their games, although we do know that the train of DEI is not stopping anytime soon. I mean, even remasters are getting the stupid stuff thrown into them too. I mean, Freedom Wars Remastered removed male and female body types. And yeah, it's really dumb, dude. Do I think that's enough to make you not play the game? Maybe not, but this sort of stuff needs to stop happening in these games. At least we know that these changes, however, are not due to the Asian markets or the developers behind it, and that changes like these are only done to satisfy the demands of the Western consultant types who barricade the entry of these games into the lucrative North American gaming market share, unless they, adhere to their needs. Now, I'm not saying that Kingdom Come 2 is adding diversity because of consultants, but it is likely that they're adding some diversity in order to shut up these journalist types. I just hope what gets added doesn't end up ruining what made the game special in the long run, but we'll have to see. But I think what Daniel Vavra has said here in terms of publishers and studios being terrified of YouTubers is validating at least. It means despite them saying they don't watch us, the reality is they do actually. They know that we exist, and frankly, they probably wish we didn't. But we have to keep these people accountable no matter what, and this accountability now bleeds into this next really weird story about Ubisoft. So in case you somehow don't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows is delayed again, this time till March 20th, 2025. I also got sent an email by an Ubisoft employee who showed me what Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, had to say about this. So here's the email on screen as I read it, and it says, "Hello everyone, I hope you all had a wonderful and restful holiday season. I wish you all a very happy 2025, and I want to thank you for your personal and collective dedication. Ubisoft thrives on your talent, expertise, and passion, all of which contributes to the value of our games and brands. Today I want to update you on my efforts to sustain the incredible journey we're on together. Like any great adventure, ours is marked by successes, challenges, battles, and accomplishments. 2025 will be a year of acceleration and pivots, not only because our market continues to rapidly evolve, but also because it is the destiny of any enduring company to navigate critical challenges and transitions. This has been our reality for several months, and it's what I've been focusing on. We've just made an announcement to the financial community, and since you are the most directly involved, first as employees and for many of you as shareholders, I want to share this information with you in my own words. We are continuing to explore and study scenarios for new, more efficient, and virtuous operating models. This is driven by a strong conviction, our ability to keep creating and operating unique, powerful, and popular brands that extend beyond video games. Our goal is to capitalize on the franchises we've fruitfully scaled, nurture the growth of our other promising brands, and successfully create new ones. This requires excellent execution and renewed focus on putting players at the heart of everything that we do. We are fully committed to creating these conditions. At the end of December, Mary Sophie shared key aspects of this plan, including concrete decisions to help everyone focus on these ambitions. We need to make changes to revitalize Ubisoft's DNA. This is what the current era demands, and your feedback via Ubisoft XP reinforces this need. Today we announced two significant decisions. We have selected top-tier advisors to assist us in conducting our discussions on the various strategic and capitalistic options available to Ubisoft, with the goal of maximizing the value of our franchises and effectively aligning our brand portfolio with the evolving demands of players and the market. We have decided to postpone the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows to March 20th, 2025. Our recent experience with Star Wars Outlaws has been a crucial lesson underscoring the importance of day one quality. Despite the team's remarkable efforts and the current quality of the game's sales, while significantly improved, still fell short of our expectations. With this in mind, we've chosen to give the AC Shadows team a few extra weeks to ensure the best possible launch conditions. The team has already done an extraordinary job over recent months to create a unique experience within the franchise. This additional time will allow them to incorporate more community and player feedback, including insights from recent playtests. We will also continue to focus on the strength and support of the AC community. In recent weeks, fan enthusiasm has continued to grow, thanks in part to the actions we have implemented with the community since October, the results of which we are starting to see. Next week, we'll be welcoming journalists, community leaders, and content creators for hands-on previews at our Quebec studio. They'll engage with the team and experience what makes AC Shadows special with its vast world and gameplay innovations. In the weeks ahead, we will continue keeping you informed. Once again, I wish you all an extraordinary 2025, blah blah blah, there you go. So yeah, this was sent out to employees and one of my insiders sent it to me. As we can see, Eve straight up admits that Outlaws flopped horribly and they need Shadows to succeed. And they will be bringing in content creators, journalists, and such to their Quebec studio to look at the game prior to launch. I will definitely not be given an invitation for obvious reasons, which is totally fine. But hey, that's the price you pay for being honest about things, I guess. I'm sure Ubisoft will try to butter people up and swindle the attendees into positive coverage like they tried to do with Outlaws. Although to be frank, I don't think this will save Ubisoft anyway because the company is cooked already and lost 90% of their value last year. But hey, valiant efforts, I guess. I was initially told that the next release date was projected to be March 5th, but I guess it's now March 20th. And it really doesn't surprise me to see Ubisoft moving Shadows out of the February release date since it's already crowded as hell between Kingdom Come, Avowed, and even stuff like Monster Hunter Wilds. From a content perspective, this alleviates the pressure at least when it comes to me covering it. I have had comments telling me that I should review Shadows like I did Veilguard. Maybe, I don't know if I want to suffer through Shadows to be honest, but we'll see. The idea of playing as Yasuke kind of makes me feel gross because it's such a bad faith move to add him on Ubisoft's part. But I think another reason why this was happening is because Ubisoft has also been accused of abuse and they probably wanted to, smokescreen this news, but it's not going to work for them. Anyway, from Games Radar, Ubisoft says it's deeply disturbed by abuse allegations at support studio that contributed to Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dark Souls, The Last of Us, and more. So, here's what happened. People Make Games, which has accused Valve of being too white and too male in the past, did a whole video on that, by the way, if you want to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description for that. But anyway, this same channel has now come out with claims that the Indonesian Ubisoft studio called Brandaville has been abusing its employees for years. In the video, there's a part where PMG shows a clip that I'll put on screen here, where a female employee is seen slapping herself 100 times in the face in what I assume is a company room or something. Weird, I know, but apparently the slapping video wasn't some weird fetish or mental breakdown on her part. It turns out, according to the allegations, that the video was forced to be recorded by a boss at the Brandoville studio who demanded that the female employee film harming themselves as a form of punishment to satisfy the bosses at Brandeville for underperforming at her job. These aren't the only claims in the video, but the point is that this Indonesian studio, which by the way is now shut down and is also under police investigation for quite literally fostering an abusive atmosphere that led to employees harming themselves or worse. And by the way, Brandeville is located in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. And the claims are saying that this studio was exploiting their employees for years. It wasn't a few months, years. The people who are being investigated were the former leaders of this company. It's a husband and wife duo named Ken and Cherry Lai. This studio also has another studio in Hong Kong, China, and they have worked on stuff like Spider-Man Miles Morales, Dark Souls 3, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Mortal Kombat, and more. But here's the part of this story that goes, oof, really bad. And downright concerning, where JakartaGlobe.com then says this about that girl in the video I showed you slapping herself. Just let me read this for you. The case went viral after a former employee identified by the initials CS shared her traumatic experience on social media platform X, formerly Twitter. CS revealed that she and her colleagues were subjected to various forms of abuse and exploitation, including excessive working hours, threats, and manipulation. Tragically, CS, who was pregnant at the time, suffered a miscarriage due to the harsh treatment that she endured. According to CS, after losing her baby, rather than receiving sympathy, she was scolded by her boss, Cherry Lai, for not showing up to work. She was also reportedly punished by being forced to climb stairs 45 times at night and instructed to slap herself 100 times. Other former employees have come forward with similar stories, reporting verbal abuse and being forced to work into the early hours of the morning. Working hours at the company were reportedly highly irregular, with some staff leaving as late as 4 a.m. In response to the viral claims, the Central Jakarta Police have launched an investigation. Police Chief Commissioner Sustayo Purnomo Kondro said that a special team has been formed to investigate the allegations of abuse and exploitation at the company. Head of the Central Jakarta's Police Criminal Investigation Unit, Mohammed Furados, added that the office of Brandeville Studios has been vacant since July 2024. Authorities are currently searching for employees who were victims of abuse to collect their testimonies and are encouraging them to file reports. The Brandeville studio office has been closed since July 2024, and the premises are now unoccupied. Witnesses have reported that in July 2024, 3 domestic workers, 2 men and 1 woman, were seen leaving the office, Fridos told reporters on Saturday. Apparently, the studio had about 80 employees, and it did close. We don't know why exactly, but I mean the likely scenario here is that this Ken and Cherry Lai, the previous heads of Brandeville, likely closed the studio themselves, fearing the allegations. But according to the reports, Ken and Cherry Lai are still working in games and have instead opened another studio since the closure of Brandeville already, and are already working on new projects. I would assume that it's Ubisoft related, since these allegations are being affiliated with Ubisoft, of course, right now. Ubisoft did say that they denounce these claims and want to see justice be found, but the reality is that this is a company that has been stretched far too thin for far too long already. When they aren't adding black samurais to Japanese period games, they can't even find accountability in their own studio heads. And it isn't even the first time, man. Ashraf Ismail, the former director of Assassin's Creed Origins and Valhalla, was also fired from Ubisoft a few years back when it was discovered that he was using his position of power at Ubisoft to leverage literal sexual favors from female employees for benefits and better treatment at the studio that he worked for there. Since then, Ashraf got fired, but he now works at Tencent as a consultant within Montreal as well at Timmy Studios. Like I said before, Ubisoft is a corrupt company. They turn a blind eye to abuse as long as the end product is what they want to see. And the fact that it has reached a point where this woman had a miscarriage and was forced to endure physical and emotional abuse over video game development is insane. I hope this CS lady, as we don't know her real name, ends up suing Ubisoft in the end. You ask me, Ubisoft can't die and go bankrupt soon enough, man. What a dumpster fire of a company, dude. But that's what I got for you today. Kingdom Come's director is based as hell and warns the industry to not piss off conservative voices. And Ubisoft is full of abuse and allegations amidst everything else going on over there too. What do you think about all of this? Let me know as always. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Thanks to my patrons and members. And I'll see you guys in the next one.